Yo, what's up? Ah! I'm back. Missed you guys after a brief resting period. August 24th, 2021. Episode 110 of the Halfcast. Halfcast episode 110. Let's have some fun. Yeah. How was everyone doing? Of course, I got a few things on my mind. One, my shit. So, uh, where to start? Where to start? Okay, so because I'm no stranger to trolls, but I caught this guy. Think this was like Saturday, and they were talking about somebody brought up something about people taking the ivermectin, the ivermectin for the medication that's meant for livestock, and he tried to come at me. He tried it. He tried it. So I said, yeah, like the FDA or something had to go national. They had to go public and explain to these people to please don't take this medicine because it's not meant to as a vaccine against COVID-19, or it's not meant to help treat COVID-19. Why are you taking this? So ivermectin, which because he tried to say, oh, you need to read more, and this is how I caught him. Ivermectin is used in livestock to fight off parasites like worms, right? It has a human application to it also. A human application for it is to use to treat head lice and skin conditions like rosacea. So I gave you just now. I gave you the animal application for it, which is for parasites, and I gave you the human application where it can be also used to treat certain human conditions, being rosacea and head lice. So, and nowhere does either one of these come to the definition. It doesn't say anything about it being an antiviral. What is the COVID-19? It's a fucking virus. So back them down really quick. Back them down off of that really fast, because nowhere in the description for a human or a livestock application. First off, it's weird that people are even defending this anyway. Why are people even defending this? Because if you have that, if you're that ballsy to take something like ivermectin to prevent COVID-19, just take the goddamn vaccine. And I don't care. You don't have to defend it to me because I want you to take it. Yeah, take head lice medicine to cure COVID. Yeah, I want you to take it because you're thinning the herd. You're thinning the herd. That way, the cures can be used on the people that really, really need them, and not the dumb ones like you. But this is what he tried to feed me afterwards, which was a half-ass way of like backing off. He tried to say, yeah, so there are some dumb ones out there. You're the dumb one, and so we got to make sure we're not just regurgitating propaganda. First off, I wasn't regurgitating propaganda, because for somebody to distribute propaganda, they have to have an agenda. Like, I don't have an agenda. My agenda would be to see you brush your teeth with that cream and see it can prevent COVID. That would definitely be my agenda. I would love to see that. I would pay for that. But to have to distribute propaganda, you have to have an agenda. Now, I will easily flip. See, and I don't go back and forth with these folks. But I could have easily turned the argument on its head and say, if you're talking propaganda, then you could be the one spreading propaganda because you're defending this as if people should be taking it as a try and true way to prevent COVID-19. That's propaganda. The way you're defending it. What his name was, Moto Torin, some bullshit. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, I just don't. I understand where it was coming from. He wants to defend his friends that's taking it, popping pills that's meant for your pet pig. Man, like yeah, but it doesn't fly over here. So that and yeah, if you're gonna climb up a set of crates, at least do it safely and put the mattress that you got them from out from under so you can fall on the mattress because people yeah, yeah, if you're gonna climb up the crates, at least bring the mattress that you pulled them out from. Now I mean that way you can have a safe, you have a safe fall. But I don't know how you, these people are on social media and everything, and they're like, oh, where's everybody getting these crates from? You know where they're getting these crates from. They're getting them from the back of Save Right. They're getting them from the back of C-Town. Don't act like that EBT card that you walk in the front, you don't know where the crates are in the back. Don't act like you don't know. You're not too bougie to know where the crates are, sweetie. Please. You know where they come from. They come from the back. They're the ones that your uncle sit on behind under the tree with that fifth mad dog. You know where these crates come from. I knew that the challenge was over when they had some kids in, not kids, but kids, they're kids, in Shreveport, and the young man got to the top of the to the crates, and they just started really shooting. Like they started shooting. They said like 20 some odd shots, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's gotten out of control. Damn, you can't have fun nowhere. Can't have fun anywhere. I have some stories for you, but you can have fun with me. Children, gather round. Who's batting first? Yeah, ivermectin, like yeah, and first off, let's say this: that the definition of drug abuse is to intentionally misuse a drug in a manner that's inconsistent with the directions on the label. So, be it that the application for the animal application of ivermectin and the human application of ivermectin, and nowhere on the label says that it's to be used to prevent as an antiviral, yeah, means that you're defending the abuse of this drug. You're abusing the defense of it, and yeah, you're defending the abuse of this drug. So yeah, I've read enough. Police investigate this. Police investigate recovery of 300 California recall ballots and passed out man's car. God damn. See, this is why people don't trust politicians. One, because as soon as you leave them in the office alone with somebody, they're trying to grab up on the secretary. And the second is that they always work in an angle. Police in California are investigating how a man acquired more than 300 ballots addressed to voters for use in the recall election of Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom. So yeah, he didn't. Yeah, nobody just those ballots didn't just fall into his lap. It's some House of Cards type of fuckery here. On August 19th, officers with the Torrance Police Department took custody of the ballots from the car of a suspect who had been reported for sleeping in his vehicle in a convenience store parking lot. If you're gonna pay somebody to rig an election, don't you think you would put them up in a hotel or something like that? That's how slimy these people are. They appeared to be in a box, but they were also kind of strewn across the back seat of the vehicle. And so there was just, who wrote this shit? Or is it who's reading this shit? Just a large portion of mail in that back seat, said the Sergeant Mark Panegalek. Okay, so the sergeant, I'm not doing his last name no more. So the sergeant said the ballots were unopened and that most of them were addressed to people living in the city of Lawndale and Compton. City of Compton. We're still trying to figure out where all these find out where all these belong to at this time. You know where they belong to. So we're working with the Los Angeles County Election Office. This is just a civilian. He got these from somebody. Somebody okayed for these to slip through from somewhere, and it's kind of like it's it. The sergeant said officers also found a loaded handgun, Xanax tablets. Oh, he's an opioid enthusiast. And guess what's next? Methamphetamine. Oh, yes. Meth, our pal meth. As well as numerous California driver's licenses and credit cards belonging to others inside the suspect's car. Local reports did not identify the suspect, but police indicated he has a felony criminal history. If you know what, if you give somebody a little bit of meth and some Xanax, they'll turn into goddamn James Bond on you. He was supposed to sneak in. He was supposed to sneak in, swap out those ballots. Yeah. And be out by the time the it came to count. By the time it came to recount. But instead he took one too many sticks and he nodded off in the car. That's why you're supposed to give him you give him the methamphetamine now, know what I mean? Because he'll be up. But the Xanax you gotta give him after he's done, because if you give him the Xanax, he's gonna get drowsy and he's gonna doze off. See, please don't do this, people. Please don't listen to me. Police said the case is being investigated. The individuals to whom the ballots were addressed will receive new ballots. The police department said just the fact that you got all these people addresses, just the fact that you got all these people's information sitting in the back of some stranger's car that has a gun and that's on drugs. His intentions could be anything. I'm bullshitting and saying that that the governor fixed it up. I'm BSing. Maybe he did, but also the fact that this man got addresses of over 300 people's and he has a drug problem and a loaded handgun. That is a problem. That is a big problem. That should be like, yeah, that should be like numero uno as to figuring out what he was doing with him. Is what he could have did with him. My non-alcoholic beverage for this evening. Moving on. Next, delete, delete, delete. Yeah. Pandemic drinking linked to depression rise. And if you know me, you know that I can speak on this. But part uh a part of the reason why I started this podcast is because I found myself just going to work and everything shut down and coming here, and what do? You drink. And I would drink and I would just watch TV or eat or sleep and just that's subsisting. And I was sitting here like, well, and my coworker said, Avery, you should do a podcast. Like, yeah, you be talking your shit or whatever. Yeah, and I was like, well, maybe. And I was sitting here over a weekend, and I was like, you know what? Well, maybe I should. Like, let's create something instead of me just sitting here stagnant. Now, I mean, I wasn't depressed. It was just more of a like, of a boredom, or stuck in a situation where you really don't know what to do with yourself. I don't think I'm depressed though. Maybe I am. Shit. I just ain't put the gun in my mouth yet. Maybe I'm too pussy to put the gun in my mouth. People drinking more alcohol during the COVID-19 pandemic has led to more suffering from depression and anxiety, a charity says it's if you're I can explain it and I can only speak for me. I can explain it as a situation like this. For people that smoke cigarettes, most of the time they say they need a cigarette, but it's just that they need something to do, and cigarettes is something to do. I mean, like, yeah, it's a thing. Like, if you might replace that with a fidget spinner. or you might replace that with like dice or something. But it's just the fact that you just want something, you want to do something, you don't know what to do. So the first thing that your mind turns to is, okay, well, let's go smoke a cigarette. Okay, and in my case, what you do, like you're not doing nothing, is bored. Okay, let's hit the store, get a couple cold ones, and I watch the game, and it's just yeah. So but some people do drink for depression. Motivate addiction services. Ooh, described it as a lethal cocktail, as numbers have continued to climb since March 2020. Chief Executive Officer Thea Ozenturk said people were using alcohol as a means to cope with the lockdown. I agree with that. I could say, yeah, yeah, alcohol is a natural depressant. The anxiety they felt around COVID that increased. The isolation didn't help. While the numbers of referrals have risen for the charity, Miss Ozenturk said she thought the true number of people struggling was much higher. Yeah, about 1 in 18 people with the alcohol issue will actually seek support from a service. We only see the tip of the iceberg, she said. As with the iceberg, the bottom is always much bigger than the top. Meanwhile, numbers from the Office for National Statistics show 1 in 5 people experienced depressive symptoms in early 2021, more than double the amount seen before the pandemic. Wow. Miss Ozenturk is I love being by myself. I really like I cherish solitude. So for me to be alone during the pandemic is actually like it's not too much different from what I did in the first place. But seeing an increase in drinking without like yeah, because there's nothing to fill in that gap. You can't. There's no really like no, it's no other activities. Yeah, I could see that happening also. I mean, but Miss Ozenturk agreed the figure seemed to be in line with trends on the island and said it was a problem likely to grow as the pandemic continued to affect people's lives. The best thing to do is to just like, fine, I started playing Magic the Gathering. I started the podcast. I reading a little bit more. Just like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. She said, we will see the impact of it for years to come. We're still ready in the middle of it. We're still really in the middle of it, and we don't know how it will pan out. Well, I hope if people feel some type of signs that they're drinking a little bit more and they're starting to answer their phone or like a little bit less or something like that, they're just like, I don't know, maybe once in a while, it's the things that you don't feel like doing when you feel that type of way is to do them. Shake yourself out of whatever comfort zone you in that you feel that you're in a funk or you're in something like you just cause it's cognitive dissonance also like when something's like so in that case I don't know, you just shake yourself out of it, call somebody. Know what I mean? Like, yeah, do something. Yeah, do something. Make a weave a basket. I don't know. Knit a hoodie for the summertime. Yeah, knit a hoodie for the wintertime. Knit yourself a hoodie. Start a clothing line. People doing that. Yeah, a lot of people was doing that. A lot of creativity came out of the pandemic. That's what I chose. That's what I chose to be like, let's do something. Let me do something creative instead of just sitting here drinking myself into fucking oblivion. Oh, that was some good sleep though. Woo. Two students banned from school after refusing to wear masks on religious grounds. And please, when are we going to stop doing this as a people? We're never going to get over this shit. It's never, I have zero faith in humanity. Because if it's not a group of people making, wearing a mask and taking vaccines about, if it's not that group making it about their religion, it's the group making it about people taking away my civil liberties. And it come on, man. Like it'll only go that far if you let it go that far. But I don't think nobody's trying to take your fucking civil liberties away. Like, god damn, yo, like chill. Like, we're trying to get over this shit. Two students from, yeah, but you'll stop, because it's these guys that want to make a power grab and make it about politics because they see the fucking election coming around, or it's the religious people that, because if they think that people start wearing masks they'll lose faith, and that, oh god, it's just a, yeah, stop. Two students from California have been permanently excluded from school after refusing to wear a mask in class. I think that's a bit harsh. Springs Charter Springs Charter School in Temecula. Where the hell is that? Fox told Victoria Nelson, a junior, and her brother Drew Nelson, a senior, have been banned from attending lessons after failing to comply with the mask mandate issued by the California Department of Public Health. On Thursday, the school was placed on lockdown, and the police were called after two students refused to comply with the mask rules. That's a bit much. Now that means now you're blowing it out of proportion. You don't want to wear your mask, students? Come see me in my office, and we'll call your parents from there, and we'll discuss this. We'll handle this in a discreet manner, and not for the whole goddamn school to see and get the news involved and cause a goddamn uproar. This is part of the problem too. This is a big part of the problem. Like, yeah, because it might possibly 9 out of 10 be the parents telling them not to wear the mask in the first place. So to straight go for the children's heads when you should be talking to the parents, like, get to the root of it. According to Fox 11, the Nelson siblings chose not to wear a mask for religious reasons and thought this would be enough to exempt them from the mandate. This is not about religion. This is what's killing me. It's not about religion. It's not about politics. It's about health. It's about people dying. It's about, you might be the one that gives it to somebody close to you. Somebody that, would you like to be the one that gives it to somebody and be responsible for the reason somebody caught COVID-19 and died? No, wouldn't that be against politics? And wouldn't that be against your religion? Like, so, like, yeah, Jesus Christ. The report states that Drew Nelson was immediately removed from his class and sent to the principal's office. However, Victoria refused to leave her classroom or wear a mask. Fuck you! Prompting her teacher to reportedly evacuate the other students while preventing her from following them. Wow. Victoria told Fox 11, when I would go left, she would follow me. I was trying to go around her and she would block me, so eventually I just gave up. The school was placed in lockdown while a school resource officer was called. And God, this is just, it's huge. Just, it's like a fucking bomb threat. Yeah, like this is really, they're really treated like a bomb threat. Like, sworn in law enforcement officers, often employed by a local police or sheriff's agency, SROs are primarily responsible for the safety and prevention of crime in schools. Well, is this a crime? In this instance, yeah, this is no more of a crime than somebody not wanting to stand for the fucking flag salute. Know what I mean? Like, it's along those lines. It doesn't mean that you, yeah. The pair have been since banned from attending classes at Springs Charter School again, regardless of whether or not they agree to wear a mask. Well, fuck your school then. That's what it should have came down to in the first place. Maybe I should have asked. Maybe we should have asked if, like, yeah, yeah, they're against my religion. I can't wear it. You found that out before you got them registered for the new year. In a statement issued to Fox, has rejected the Nelsons' claims that they could avoid wearing masks on religious grounds. No, noting that there are no religious exemptions to the state mask order and that the right to such exemptions has never been recognized by the Supreme Court. Yes, separation of church from state. Finally, as a public charter school, Springs Charter Schools is requiring to comply with all CDPH orders, including the mask mandate. Stick to your guns. This is not about nobody disrespecting your religion. This is about keeping these kids safe in the school. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with nothing about your religion or nothing. To end this, students and staff are required to wear a mask while in school facilities, as they should. Yeah. Under the rules, schools are under instruction to develop and implement local protocols to enforce mask requirements, and offer alternative educational opportunities for students who are excluded from campus because they will not wear a face covering. They should have went for this first. Go to the bad kid school. You can even smoke cigarettes. You don't even have to wear a mask. Smoke cigarettes in the class. Do some pandemic drinking right there. Do algebra pandemic drinking. Bridesmaids Bridesmaid sues bride after being kicked out of wedding for haircut. Whoa! A bridesmaid sparked a viral online discussion after posting on Reddit that she was kicked. What happened? That she was kicked out of a wedding party for cutting her hair. Why? Honestly, maybe because if the bride is like the bride runs the whole shit, so if she wants her bridesmaids to follow suit, know what I mean, then they have to. If they're not willing to follow suit, then they should be upfront with that from the rip. Follow suit. The bridesmaid said in a post which has more than 1,000 comments that she was planning to sue the bride. Why? I don't know. It can't get pricey. Talking to the subreddit, I the a dash dash asshole. The Reddit user own ingenuity. We don't need to know all that. Said she had to purchase 3 different dresses and shoes. Oh no, totaling more than $700 for a 3-day wedding. She also said the bride wanted specific hairstyles for each day. So who's doing the hair? Who's paying for the? Hold up. If she wants all that, then the bride gotta be kicking in a few bucks. I mean, I'll bring the yeah. We'll get the dress for the wedding and whatever else after that. Then yeah, you gotta kick something. I told the bride about my decision. However, the bridesmaid's hair began to fell out. Wait, what? In chunks due to health reasons, and she decided to cut it in May. Okay, what the hell did she have? Did she have lice? Should she have been taking ivermectin prior to the wedding? I told the bride about my decision 2 weeks before the wedding, and she didn't say anything bad. Can you see this on People's Court? My hair fell out, and that bitch kicked me out of the wedding. I want my $700. The following week, she came over to my house, and when she was about to leave, she brought up that she was concerned about my haircut, and I told her it would look good even though I wouldn't be uniform. That's what the problem would be. The bride was unconvinced and sent a message to the bridesmaid 3 days before the wedding. That's a bitch. Yeah, that's a real bitch move. Saying that she has been very accommodating and graceful to the bridesmaid but felt disrespected. That's a real dick move. The message went on to say that she found the timing of the haircut upsetting. Well, that's a communication problem. If y'all was gonna have a falling out about that, it should have been way before both ends spent their money on this shit. I would have felt respected if you had communicated with me more than a week prior. Understandable, more than a week prior to the wedding, so we could have worked together. Get yourself a nice wig, cut it into a nice bob. The message from the bride read, "Your inconsistencies have concerned me, and while I sympathize with your health concerns, I'm not willing to compromise my vision to accommodate you or anyone else." Which I agree with the bride, and I disagree, but I agree when she feels like I'm not willing to compromise my vision to accommodate you or anyone else. We could have found a better solution. I agree with that. They're both being assholes in a way. Yeah, the bride. It's just one of them cases where yeah, two both of them. I don't know. It's just one of them cases where you can't say one person is right and one person is wrong. They both did some stupid shit. After an invoice sent to the bride and her husband for the dresses and shoes went ignored, the bridesmaid decided to take the matter to court. Oh, here we go. Money is the best way to ruin a friendship. I just can't get past that her hair was falling out because of a health condition. And Zilla is like, don't care if you die. You're selfish for cutting your hair. What in the actual duck? One, I just can't get past. Oh shit. That's what the comments was? NTA should have had the lawsuit served to her at the altar. Oh, and I'm talking about my bullshit comment about this guy about the taking the horseworm pills. Whoa, yeah, they're both fucking wrong. They need to just like I don't know, do a 50. Like yeah, okay, well I'll give you half. I'll give you half because you could have really fucked up my wedding. Yeah, I'll give you half. If it's $700, I'll give you 350, and you kick rocks. Don't invite me to anything fucking else. We're done. Yeah. Wow. Last story. Delete that. I understand that. Yeah, brides. I've seen that bridezilla shit. Those girls get pretty nasty, and a haircut at the last minute is like, yeah, that could send some anxiety going, or yeah, man seen a video saying Heil Hitler at mass mandate school board meeting loses his job. Hitler would be turning in his grave because he would be like, you wasn't supposed to tell everybody. We're supposed to be gathering information from the inside and we could stage a coup. Get the hell out of here. How are there still these type of people around? A Michigan man who flashed the Nazi salute and yelled Heil Hitler. Get the fuck out of here, man. Are you fucking kidding me, man? If you want to talk about inappropriate, you want to talk about an inappropriate time where all his fucking Nazi brothers are probably wearing a tattoo up under the shirts themselves. They're like, oh, it's a bad time, Mikey. It's a bad time, Mikey. Say it loud. Neo and I'm proud. Mass during a school center mass mandate meeting has lost his job. Where are you going to get a job now, sir? Where are you going to get a job now? Who is going to hire you and not be like, oh, well, aren't you the guy that yelled Heil Hitler in a school board meeting? Like, yeah, that was me. I can't hire. I won't touch you with a 10-foot pole. Because then if you hire him, your whole business is going to look like you're all with him. Fruit of the poisonous tree. On Monday, Paul Markham of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, was fired from his job as a tennis instructor at a sports club of West Bloomfield. I don't know. Wouldn't you think a Nazi would have a better job than that? Maybe. Yeah, you don't have no connections that you're teaching tennis in a school. Markham is also the owner of Paul Markham's Tennis Service, which is probably a front for all neo-Nazi activities. No, that hasn't been confirmed. Markham's firing stemmed from the racist actions he displayed on August 18th at a Birmingham Board of Education meeting. During the meeting, school officials, teachers, and parents met to discuss a potential mask mandate being put in place for the 2021 school year. Birmingham Public Schools emphatically denounces and will not tolerate any act of racism, disrespect, violence, and/or inequitable treatment of any person, including actions and statements made at the Board of Education meetings, said Robertson. That is the superintendent. It is in situations where we feel strongly about the matter and emotions run high. What does that have to do with wearing masks? Screaming how Hitler. Hearing that the only way she can attend in person learning is by wearing a mask is unconscionable. She told the board it's not going. Various anti-maskers also told board members that masks are dangerous and children don't carry the risk of spreading COVID-19. Please, these people, man. Nicole Covery, yo, these shits come straight out of like a Aesop's Fables book, or like, yeah. Nicole Humphrey, a local parent, told the school board she's removing her daughter from the school district because she doesn't want her daughter to be subjected to the potential mandate. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, yeah, that's fine. Whatever the school's mandate is, then it's the parents' decision if you want to accept it or if you don't want to accept it. If you want to accept it, then you send your kids to school with the mask. You know what I mean? If you don't, or without the mask, depending on what the mandate is. If you don't accept it, then keep your fucking kids home and don't send them up to the school causing a big stink about this shit when other people's kids are just there to learn. It's already stupid enough. Another parent, hearing that the only way she could attend in-person learning is by wearing a mask, is unconscionable. She told her, our children will never see the freedoms we taking away the children's freedoms. We're trying to do this now so they won't have to grow up dealing with this shit later. This is selfishness. This has nothing to do with the kids. It has not a thing. God didn't intend for us to wear a mask. What? God didn't intend for you to wear condoms either, but you keep them on if your ass don't want to get burnt, don't you? Our children will never see the freedoms we enjoyed growing up. Stop that. We're doing this now so they will. Like, this is ridiculous. They are not even free to breathe fresh air. Why? Does the mask... Do they walk around with mask breath all day? That's your problem. If God wanted us to cover our mouth and nose, he would have made us... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. If God wanted us to cover our mouth and nose, he would have made us that way. Jesus, man. Yo, these people are... Steer clear of people who think like this, because they're only interested in making sure that their point get across. It couldn't be further from worrying about the safety of other individuals, including their own children. They just want to let it be known that their point, they don't even care. They don't care if they're right, they don't care if they're wrong. They just care that they want to get their point across. That's it. That's it. They don't want to listen to anything else. Fuck your math. Fuck your Fauci, fuck your everything else. This is what I know. Yeah, so I'm gonna rub some ivermectin on my kids' gums, and I'm gonna send. I'm gonna send some horse. Yeah, I'm gonna give my kids some horse pills. I'm gonna give some. I'm gonna give my kids some stool softener for cows, and that's all we need. He doesn't need a mask. He took old Sadie's back there. Yeah. He took old Sadie's pills, heart pills, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. What we doing on time here? 37 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up. If you fucks with the show, holla at me on Twitter at Rise and Shine, RYEZSHYNE. Yes. Or Halfcast AJ, HALFCAST on Twitter. Taco Meat 05, TACOMEAT 05, or you could just hit me on Facebook Messenger. And when I tell you people to hit me on Facebook Messenger, don't ask me if I got a DHHS voucher or if I received a stimulus. Don't ask me about that, man, because I will block you. I know you guys in person, so I could block you on Facebook and still love you in real life. All right? I love you guys. I'll holler at y'all very, very soon. Adios.